will double tariffs on Canadian aluminum and steel imports. He says it's a response to Ontario.
Imagine waking up to find that the cost of your favorite American-made products has skyrocketed overnight. Steel, aluminum, and even basic household goods are suddenly more expensive. Well, that's exactly what happened when former U.S. President Donald Trump imposed tariffs on Canadian goods. But Canada didn't take it lightly. Instead, it hit back in ways that shocked even the U.S. government. How did Canada fight back? And what was the impact on both countries? Let's break it all down. Hey everyone, where we dive deep into the biggest global stories shaping our world. Today, we're talking about the trade war between Canada and the U.S. during Trump's presidency, and how Canada retaliated against his tariffs. Tariffs may sound like a bunch of boring economic jargon, but they have real-world consequences. Jobs, industries, and even the prices we pay at stores are directly affected by these trade policies. In today's video, we'll look at Trump's tariffs, Canada's countermeasures, and the economic ripple effect that followed. Stick around till the end to find out how this trade war changed the Canada-US relationship and what it means for the future. Trump's tariff war. The beginning. It all started in 2018 when President Donald Trump invoked Section 232 of the Trade Expansion Act, imposing tariffs on steel, 25%, and aluminum, 10%, imports, including from Canada. Trump justified this move on national security grounds, claiming the U.S. needed to protect its domestic steel and aluminum industries. Canada, the largest exporter of steel and aluminum to the U.S., was blindsided. The decision didn't just threaten Canadian industries, but also American businesses relying on Canadian materials. The move sparked immediate backlash from Canadian leaders and industry experts, who called it unjustified and harmful to both economies. Moreover, these tariffs came at a time when Canada and the U.S. were already renegotiating NAFTA, North American Free Trade Agreement, adding more tension to an already complex trade relationship. Many experts saw this as an attempt by Trump to exert pressure on Canada during those negotiations. Canada's retaliation, dollar-for-dollar countermeasures. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and Foreign Minister Chrystia Freeland didn't waste time responding. Canada hit back with reciprocal tariffs worth $16.6 billion. CAD on American goods, a dollar-for-dollar retaliation, the largest in Canadian history. The countermeasures targeted key American industries, including steel and aluminum products, matching Trump's tariffs directly, household items, including washing machines, dishwashers, and kitchen appliances, food and beverages, like ketchup, hurting Heinz, a major U.S. brand, orange juice, impacting Florida's economy, and whiskey, affecting distillers in Kentucky. Consumer goods, including U.S.-made lawnmowers, pens, and playing cards. These tariffs weren't random. They were carefully designed to pressure U.S. lawmakers in states that supported Trump. By targeting goods produced in politically important regions, Canada aimed to create domestic pressure within the U.S. to lift the tariffs. Economic impact. Who won the trade war? The tariffs hit hard on both sides of the border. Impact on Canada. Canadian industries, especially steel manufacturers, faced uncertainty as they lost a key U.S. market. Companies like Steel Canada and Alco had to cut jobs and adjust production. Some sectors, like the automotive industry, saw increased costs, which trickled down to consumers. Retail prices for goods like cars and appliances rose, impacting middle-class Canadians the most. Impact on the U.S. The tariffs led to higher prices for American manufacturers relying on Canadian steel and aluminum. Retaliatory tariffs on U.S. goods hurt farmers and small businesses, especially in states that were crucial for Trump's 2020 re-election campaign. Companies like Harley-Davidson and General Motors publicly criticized Trump's policies, citing increased costs. Several states, including Wisconsin, Kentucky, and Florida, experienced losses in key export industries due to Canada's retaliatory measures. By late 2019, economic studies suggested the tariffs cost American companies over $900,000 per job protected, making them widely viewed as an ineffective trade policy. Political fallout and the repeal of tariffs. Due to growing pressure from business leaders, political allies, and trade unions, Trump eventually lifted the tariffs on Canada in May 2019 as part of a broader agreement between the two nations. But the damage was done. The tariffs had already strained relations, disrupted trade, and left many businesses scrambling. The episode also served as a warning for Canada to diversify its trade relations beyond reliance on the U.S. Lessons learned and Canada's strategy moving forward. Canada's response to Trump's tariffs demonstrated its ability to stand firm against economic pressure. In the aftermath, Canada strengthened trade relations with Europe and Asia, signing deals like the Comprehensive and Progressive Agreement for Trans-Pacific Partnership. The government invested in domestic manufacturing to reduce dependence on U.S. imports. The trade war highlighted the importance of diplomatic negotiations, showing that retaliation can work, but must be strategic. Small businesses adapted by sourcing raw materials from non-U.S. suppliers, diversifying the economy. What this means for Canada-U.S. trade in the future. While Trump is no longer president, U.S.-Canada trade tensions haven't completely disappeared. Trade disputes over dairy, lumber, and auto manufacturing continue, and some fear similar tariff wars could happen again under future U.S. administrations. However, one thing is clear. Canada has proven that it won't back down when hit with unfair trade policies. Its strategic countermeasures have shown the world that even a smaller country can stand up to a global superpower if it plays its cards right. The role of public opinion and Canadian unity. Canada's handling of Trump's tariffs became a significant case study in international trade retaliation, showcasing how a nation can effectively respond to economic pressure from a global superpower. When the U.S. imposed tariffs on Canadian steel and aluminum in 2018, Canada swiftly implemented countermeasures, targeting key American exports such as bourbon, orange juice, and dairy products. These strategic retaliatory tariffs were carefully designed to impact industries in politically influential states, putting pressure on U.S. lawmakers and business leaders to reconsider the trade restrictions. Other countries facing similar tariffs, including the European Union and China, closely studied Canada's measured yet firm response when crafting their own countermeasures. Canada's ability to navigate these economic challenges without escalating tensions unnecessarily set a precedent for how mid-sized economies can push back against protectionist trade policies while maintaining diplomatic ties. Global implications. Canada as a trade example. Canada's handling of Trump's tariffs became a case study in international trade retaliation. Other countries facing tariffs, like the European Union and China, studied Canada's response when crafting their countermeasures. Canada's approach proved that strategic retaliation can influence U.S. trade policies, demonstrating that even smaller economies have leverage. This event solidified Canada's reputation as a smart and resilient trade partner, strengthening its position in future negotiations with global powers. So, what do you think? Was Canada's response to Trump's tariffs justified? Should they have done more or taken a different approach? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss our deep dives into global issues. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.